with me on the phone right now, I have one of the heavy hitters, legends in the gospel world, Mitchell Jones from the Gospel Group Commission. Mr. Jones, welcome to the Time Machine.
Oh, thanks for inviting me, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm glad that you're taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with me.
Oh, no problem, man.
All right.
My pleasure.
All right, now let's go ahead and get it started. Now, did you get your start? How you get your start singing prior to commission?
Well, I'm in a family of 8, and all my brothers and sisters sing. I had a brother who used to sing with a secular group called the Dramatics, and then kind of was in church singing, church choirs and stuff like that, and little groups that I had as when I was about 14 and 15. And then, Fred and I went to high school together.
Okay.
And so we went to high school together, and we actually met at in high school. He played football, and I played basketball. And then I started going to Greater Grace, so we started singing. As a matter of fact, Fred wasn't even singing at the time. He was playing the bass. And a guy named Tony Claxton, who was a pastor here, bishop here, I knew him for some time. He introduced me to Fred, and he was telling me, he said, man, Fred can sing. I said, Fred can sing. I said, sing something. And Fred sang. I said, man, you need to be singing. And so we kind of started singing together in high school. We just had a little group, me and Fred, and we sang in a talent show that Mumford, and we was in a couple other groups together, a group called Save. And that's kind of how, some of the groups and how we got started before commission. Some of the things that happened before commission.
Okay, so basically you was singing lead on Sunday mornings, church service at around 14 years old, singing your traditional stuff and killing them in the choir stand.
Well, I don't know about killing them. Yeah,
but you were doing your thing, though.
Yeah, I was just singing in the choirs.
Okay.
So on my mother's side, my mother's family sang too, and on my father's side, my father's family sang. So
it's in your blood.
Yes, it's in the blood. It was in the blood, brother.
Now, how did commission form? You mentioned you and Fred went to high school together. Now, how did Keith, Michael, Brooks, and Williams, and Carl come into the group, the original 6?
Well, like I said, Fred and I were singing in high school. We sang in a group called Saved, and Fred started playing the bass for the Winans. And Keith and Carl Reed was in a group called The Sounds of Joy, and it was just them two, and they had a band. And so I kind of joined those guys, and I told Fred about it. I said, Fred, man, you need to come on, man. You need to come and sing with us, man. The harmony and the blend is crazy. And Fred said, you know what? Let me get some more experience with the Winans. And so, I think it was maybe about 6 months to a year, and then Fred joined us. And Fred had a band also that was called The Unit. It was Fred, Michael Brooks, Michael Williams, and Mike E., which is Michael Wright. And so I was kind of like the liaison to the vocals, and Fred was the liaison to the musicians. And so we got together, and I remember the first day we sang, and we couldn't... We really couldn't continue or finish the song because the harmonies, it just sounded so good to us. We would start singing and we would just start laughing. We were just thankful that God kind of brought us together.
Right. Now, how old were you guys when commission started?
Probably about 23.
Okay.
1982. Back in 1982, about 23, 24.
Okay, so early 20s.
Early 20s, sir.
Okay, now, what was the process like going in and making like that first gospel record with the city and I'm Going On?
What was the what now?
What was the process like making that record with I'm Going On in the city?
Well, it was kind of hard, we tried to get some people to help us. And we kept going, just trying our relatives and just people we knew, pastors and ministers, trying to gather money so that we can go in the studio. Fred and I already had some experience in the studio with a group called Save. We had put a little 45 out and with the group called Save. So we had some experience, a little bit of experience in the studio, and it was exciting, you know what I'm saying, to get those guys in the studio and to hear on tape what we would hear live, you know, when we were rehearse or sing somewhere, you know, to hear it on tape. You know, it was very exciting, you know, to hear your song on tape, you know, and it was just a wonderful experience.
Because I seen on YouTube somebody had posted a video of you guys back in '84 performing "Giving My Problems." And it was a very good performance, you know, Keith singing lead and everybody's doing their thing. And the one thing I like about you guys, your harmonies are so tight. And it's like, if people didn't know that you guys were a gospel group, you guys could have been an R&B group.
Well, I've heard that, you know, so many times before. Myself, I never learned how to play gospel chords. I mean, or people would say gospel music. I was kind of raised up also at an early age, listening to Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway, and so, you know, and coming up, you know, under that umbrella, you know, I never learned those chords, you know. So I know part of the style that I had, it kind of maybe had a little R&B feel to it. Mm-hmm. And so, and the vocals, you know, coming up listening to the Temptations, Earth, Wind, and Fire, we kind of had a little, we were a group, you know what I'm saying, a band kind of, you know what I mean? We wasn't just four guys, you know, who sang that had a band. We were a band, you know, somewhat like an Earth, Wind, and Fire. So we kind of mixed it all together. We really admired the Clock Sisters as well. Mm-hmm. You know, so we love their harmonies and how they sang lead background. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of like we wanted our backgrounds to be kind of like a lead background rather than a background like a part.
Okay, and for those of you that don't know, the Clark sisters, along with their mother Maddie Moss Clark, are heavy hitters, big names in gospel music, along with the Winans family and of course Andre Crouch.
Yes, sir.
Definitely big names. And you guys recorded 12 albums over a period of 17 years.
Yes, sir.
Wow, I know that was like tough, you know, 12 albums, 17 years. And now, one of my favorite commission joints, tell me about Cry On.